Stories that just feel impossible to live up to. And as a result of this, something called money dysmorphia has become a growing trend on social media. So David Delisle, personal finance expert and author of the bestseller The Golden Quest, is joining us now with how to avoid money dysmorphia, among lots of other things as well. So David, it's so good to have you here.
Yeah, it's so great to be here.
Hi, good morning. Okay, let's start by just talking about what exactly about money dysmorphia. What is it, and which generation would you say is being hit the hardest?
Yeah, so it sounds like a big word, but all it is just when your view of your personal finances doesn't match reality. So you might feel more poor than you actually are because of what you're seeing. And it's hitting Gen Z the worst by far, but even millennials were hit pretty hard with this because of social media. We're starting to see a lot more outside influence.
You know, it's so interesting you mentioned that, because there are several people, David, that I look at their accounts and I'm like, A, how are they always on vacation? How do they always have the newest clothes? How are they building this house? How are they driving this newest car?
Everywhere. And so we think this is normal. And what we see line is normal, but it isn't. And a lot of that stuff as well, that perception, we don't know what's really going behind the scenes.
So true. Gosh,
and
so true.
If it's even real to begin with. So
that's a great point.
Yeah, but it's creating this dysmorphia, it's creating this distortion and this chase of feeling like everybody's happier, everybody has more. If you only had more, you would be happier. And it's just not true.
So how can we avoid this, David?
So the biggest thing is to start having conversations with our kids about money, and just anyone in general. Like, it's this big taboo that we don't talk about, but even like this right now, having a conversation, talking about it, so that your kids start getting a better understanding of what's your reality and what's real in your family. So I recommend parents, even just when you're buying something, like going to McDonald's, tell them how much it costs. If you go to a restaurant, you fill up your car with gas, and they just start getting this concept of how much things cost, what is reality, and understand the value of money.
So David, I know you have teenagers. What's a good age to start with talking to our kids about money?
So, I mean, I've got teenagers, but it's one of those things where they're never too young. I mean, maybe babies, but as soon as they're old enough to start asking you to buy them something, they're old enough to start having these conversations. And if I think of my boys when they're really little, I say this a lot because it was such a good technique. When they're really little, I would put things in terms of like chocolate bars and Lego. So if they wanted something, I'd be like, oh, that's 10 chocolate bars, or that's, one Lego set. And so already they can start understanding like choice, what money could buy instead, and realizing that all of these things have a cost. And even 5-year-olds can quickly learn what they want or don't want.
How interesting, and what a great way to do that too, and put it in terms that they can understand. I like that. Okay, so you literally wrote a book. When it comes to helping our kids to understand money, you wrote The Golden Quest, Your Journey to a Rich Life. So tell us what's inside.
So the big thing is, I mean, I'm so passionate about this stuff, and we're just not having those conversations. And I want to make it fun. And that's the thing, is like, I've got 2 boys. If I just sat them down at the dinner table and started talking finance, they would run away. So this book is a graphic novel. It's a fun adventure where kids can learn about money in a fun way, and it just flip through the pages and get these concepts. And it's not about math, it's not about economics, it's about habits and mindset, which is really important. And I wrote in a way where even adults should be able to pick up something and learn something, but it'll probably be the kids that'll be
the kids. In fact, I saw it described as Rich Dad Poor Dad meets Calvin and Hobbes, which I was like, that's so perfect for a kid's book.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, is I want to make it just fun and make it easy and take away a lot of the judgment and shame that we typically see when we talk about finance. Like, there's so much just almost condescension or guilt, or you should do things a certain way. And I just want to make it fun and light, and that's what this book is about. It's about choice and empowering our kids and letting them have these conversations and not feel like money is this big, scary thing.
We're just about out of time, David, but I want to talk about your key message from the book, and I imagine in a lot of what you talk about when you're visiting with people. I saw this on your website too, but only buy the awesome stuff as a key message. I mean, that can resonate with kids, that can resonate with adults. That's huge.
Well, and by asking that question, question, is this my awesome stuff? And I tell people, like, just do it, and you'll start to realize, like, the more you focus on what brings you joy, the more you'll realize what doesn't. And most of those things we're spending our time and money on aren't bringing us joy. So that's how you break this money dysmorphia.
Such a powerful message.
Yeah.
David, thank you so much for sharing this with us. We appreciate it. Pleasure to meet him. And for more financial literacy tips, you can head to David's website, daviddelisle.com, and his book, The Golden Quest, is available now.
Thanks, Alyse. Still ahead on Good Day Atlanta, Ludacris checked